Well, we're back again already. It hasn't been 24 hours. We got huge breaking news. We're not going to rest at all. Let's bring Doc. Let's bring Easy E, and let's discuss it. The news just broke a few minutes ago. Vince McMahon is retiring, which I was like, okay. But now Brock walking out of SmackDown. It's shocking for the wrestling world. Easy E, I missed you last night. You definitely got us the funniest part of the show last night without even trying. But give me your thoughts off the top of your head, man. Spit it out, man.
This is a crazy time. I feel like I lost my mom and dad again. Like growing up in the 80s, 90s, 2000s, Vincent Kennedy McMahon has been the wrestling world. And now he's gone. His daughter and Nick Khan are taking over. And what the fuck are we watching, man?
I don't know, man. Doc, what's first thing going through your mind right now?
Thank you.
I mean, we kind of knew he's 77 or something. You kind of knew eventually it was going to happen.
I took a fucking nap and I woke up to all these like texts and everything like that. By the way, thanks for returning my message there, E.
I'm trying to follow Twitter. It's blowing up, obviously.
Guys, I'm working all these hours and now
was you that mad that your microphone was like, I mean, I was the only one that didn't say anything. I was just trying to take it through the ear and it sucked. It hurt.
Shout out to everybody popping in here real quick.
Once
Reaper,
again,
Tito, good.
We're sitting here and I hate to say this because we're in Pittsburgh, but listening to Mark Madden, even Mark Madden, who stopped talking wrestling, is talking about it. So
yeah.
Mainstream media, ESPN will talk about it all night. Like this is like almost, this is like Pope Dominic, leaving or whatever the Pope was. To just
damn, you're comparing him to the Pope?
Yes.
The man with massive balls compared to the Holy Father. Okay, but the thing is, you guys got to look at it. You look at WWE. You look at, I'll even say it, Impact. You look at AEW, look at everything. Everything's, stems from Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon made wrestling the global phenomenon. Professional wrestling is the
True.
global phenomenon because of Vince McMahon. This is huge.
Love him or
He
hate him.
eliminated the territories. Vincent Kennedy McMahon eliminated territories. He was like, you know what? I'm eating this alive. I'm eating Smoky Mountain. I'm eating ECW. I'm eating WCW. It's unbelievable.
He technically didn't eat ECW.
Do you think this down?
He secretly funded ECW.
What
Thank you.
CH Gaming is saying, you think this might have
Just
something to
saying.
do with Triple H finally getting? I mentioned it last night on the podcast. I was hearing that Triple H is getting his hands back into things.
He is. He's now announced as the EVP again, which is great because I feel some things are there's going to be some changes. Brock Lesnar, though, if you think about it, Brock Lesnar had a relationship with Vince just like Undertaker did. That was like his dad. That was like they had like a father-son kind of thing. You know what I mean? And I really think this hit Brock hard.
Yeah.
And I think they probably threw a bunch of changes at Brock that Brock was looking forward to whatever was supposed to happen at SummerSlam. Whether he lost, won, whatever, and you got some other guy in your face telling you what to do. Brock Lesnar's not that type of guy, man. I mean, that's all there is to it.
For those who don't know, Brock apparently walked out on SmackDown for tonight, and it was something to the effect of, if he's gone, I'm gone, is what he was said. So,
but I think it's a play. I think this may be a play, and I hate to bring CJ in. Could this be a work inside of it? Because let's face it, I follow San Diego Comic-Con just like Doc does. What did they announce yesterday?
Figures.
They announced figures, and they announced a Brock Lesnar Ultimate with what? Both belts.
Both belts. Well, how many months does it take for production? Let's think about this. When you're making anything,
it's a prototype. That's a prototype.
That means it's legit it's legit in production, which means there's thousands and thousands being created.
To make a toy, it's months of planning to get it approved, to get it ready, to get it made. So this is not like last week they were like, here's a Brock toy with both belts.
You don't think
I don't think that's a spoiler he was going to win. I've seen those reports.
I think that this is planned out. I think this carries them into WrestleMania season. They really don't have anything set up for SummerSlam. Like, EJ and I have the opportunity to go. Like, we were going next Friday. Yeah. And EJ looked at me and said, Dad, if only Cena and Theory were wrestling, I would have really wanted to go. Now let's go to Steelers training camp. And I'm like, okay. But we're on here to talk about Vincent Kennedy McMahon.
Because like you guys just said, WWE's going to be in everyone's mouth right now because this happened.
So how do you blow it up? How do you make this news bigger? One word: Wyndham.
Hey, if now's the time to make a big move like that, it would be now. I do not disagree with you whatsoever. If they had it planned ahead, now's the time to make that move.
What do you think? Friday instead of SummerSlam, or do you think you wait till SummerSlam for the big whammy?
Tonight might be too close to bring him back unless he was already there.
Well, they got to announce a match with Mysterios and all that, and people are saying that he's supposed to be coming in with Edge, which I don't know why you would team Bray Wyatt with Edge.
I heard New Brood, because that's why they're going rated. That's why they are going this NC-17 rating. So
Wyndham's in the tweets. I mean, not him personally, but people were already bringing him up, just like you're saying. So it's not out of.
I would like to see a New Brood. I would love to see a New Brood. I'm not going to sit here and lie.
I don't think either one of them need each other, Bray or Edge. They can hold their own, I think.
I think WWE's scared of Wyndham right now.
Here we go. We got another on location here. First thing coming out of your head here in the news, big man.
Well, the Brock thing is interesting. If that's the case, I mean, we've seen Brock throw the belt at Vince. We know they have a complicated history. So it's kind of interesting if Brock being there is completely tied to Vince McMahon, but you got to think he has a contract. Not that that's ever stopped him before. But as far as Vince stepping down, I feel like it's going to be more of the same old shit. I really hope that Stephanie and Triple H get their chance to put a stamp on the product because I think it would be interesting. But with Nick Khan being co-CEO, how's it going, man? I figure it's more of the status quo.
Who's the one that said something about he's still a stockholder, so Vince is still kind of in
Vince
the fold.
actually said that. He's still the largest stockholder of the company. So even though he's not the chairman and CEO, he still indirectly has a say.
Apparently,
Not
they
to
had a
mention the fact
WWE
that I'm
meeting.
sure he has to say via Stephanie.
They
I
had a
also
meeting
read
to
that
announce that
he's still-
retirement. It was an all
How's
hands on
Vegas?
deck meeting. All hands on deck meeting just went down in WWE for him to announce that news.
I'm not in Vegas yet, bro. I don't leave till Thursday.
It's
Oh,
also
okay.
noted Stephanie McMahon and Nick Khan would plot the course of the company moving forward.
But here's the thing: he still has creative side. He's still going to be on TV.
No, they said
He's
it's
retiring.
that's everything.
I think
It's
I'm
retiring.
taking
It's
retiring as
everything's
dying.
done.
He's done. I'm not
He's
saying
not
he'll
sitting in
never
his
be
chair
on TV
backstage.
again. Yeah. He's
done.
I don't
He's
think
done.
that I don't think that he's going to have a say. They said they announced yesterday or the day before that Triple H was back as the EVP of talent, which was John Laurinaitis' job, the fall man for this scandal.
Right.
And then they said that Bruce Pritchard would return to his role as head of creative. So I don't know. I know I have hopes. Sorry, let me walk inside.
That's all right.
I have hopes that
You sound like E yesterday.
Does this
Yeah,
mean we can
personally.
see women 30 plus and awesome characters again from the big place? That was somebody's tweet.
enter.
But here's the
Yeah,
thing:
what changes do you see? Easy E, what changes do you think might happen now that Vince is gone? I'm interested in your opinion.
now that Vince is gone, I think that you're going to see guys like Ciampa get a little bit of a push. I think guys that Triple
Rightfully
H had a
deserve
little
it.
bit of faith in, that build whatever.
Here's a good one. Here's someone just tweeted. Vince opens the show with a promo about retiring. Triple H comes out the ring, thanks him for everything he's done. Vince turns on Triple H shouting, "You think this is easy? I've got a lot left in the tank."
I look at
Who
Vince
knows what's going to happen now?
Well, I look at it this way, and please let me speak.
Yeah, go ahead. Finish your thought.
I think you're going to see more black athletes get belts. And I'm not even.
Yeah,
I'm
more
not even going to
diversity,
say
I
that.
agree.
I'm going to say all nationalities are going to have belts. You're going to see guys that are littler get titles and get pushes that they weren't getting. Like if Cesaro was in this WWE, I think he would be a big time player. And I think that big man mentality will change now that Triple H is in charge and not Vince.
Well, just to counteract that a little bit and play devil's advocate, Triple H, in the statement of him returning as EVP, it was said that his vision and his management of the company is aligned with their new hiring processes, which is basically not hiring indie talent and going after other athletes and training them. So whether that was fodder for stockholders or for Vince because Vince hadn't retired yet or not, I don't know. But it was the way that it was worded, and I can't remember the exact wording, but that's pretty similar, was that Triple H is on board for the new vision of WWE.
So here Meltzer just said, someone tweeted, question for Dave Meltzer, with Vince McMahon current still at 80% shareholder in WWE, even in retirement, does he still have power? And then Dave said, to be determined, he's actually closer to 38%, but has 80% voting power.
Well, if you watch, like I had a little bit of stock back in the day in WWE. If you watch their stock calls, Stephanie and Triple H and a lot of them started selling off about 6-8 months ago and selling off big stocks they had.
Which made me think that it was going to be sold.
Right. What a year.
Mm-hmm.
What a year in wrestling this has been. You have Tony Khan buys ROH, or Cody Rhodes moves over, Shane McMahon fired, just some of the big things. And then this bombshell today.
You think Shane comes back?
Brock to AEW confirmed.
Obviously, we don't talk business side of this, but I think during the scandal, when it first started to break and Vince stepped down as acting CEO and they named Stephanie, and the fact that the stock didn't drop, it was always expected that if Vince McMahon ever stepped away, that the stock would plummet for WWE.
Right.
The fact that it didn't drop, I think, is kind of what paved the way for this, of him to say, well, I could isolate myself, I could retire. Because, I mean, let's not get it twisted. Even though this retirement, this doesn't change anything with the SEC investigation of him misappropriating funds for hush money.
You think they found something else bigger, and that's why he's retired? Maybe something came to light, and they're like,
They found a penis picture.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the
You
first
realize
thing
I don't know if you could fit grapefruits on a lens. Never mind.
I just thought maybe there's something else came to light, which is forcing him to retire right now before it all comes down on him.
Well, I mean, it's going to come out that he's not sleeping with Linda.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Well,
they don't even live.
yeah, they don't live together enough.
I'm sure that if this investigation is thorough, there's going to be a lot more claims, because there's no way that Vince just decided like, oh, I'm just now going to pay people to be quiet and I'm just now going to sexually harass people. I'm sure Vince has been getting trim on the side, and there's going to be a lot of girls that, whether it was consensual then or not, are going to come out of the woodwork now and,
Yeah, he's
cash
probably
or
screwing male talent too.
Hey, I wouldn't put it past him.
I mean, we've seen what he's done on screen in front of people during the Attitude Era, but God knows what he's done behind the scenes. Especially, there's historic stories of him and insert wrestler here, Shawn Michaels, whoever, on coke-fueled fucking binges.
I mean, he's always been a terrible human being. That's never been in question. But what a businessman! What a legend in the wrestling world. Like you guys were saying earlier, the territories, the whole TV and pay-per-view. I mean, I can go on and on and on. The things he's brought
He's
to
the
wrestling.
father of current professional wrestling. There's no
Like him or hate him, he's legendary for why we have wrestling the way we have it today.
100%.
And it's shocking, but I'm excited. I mean, I had adrenaline flowing through me now because of, like Doc was saying too, what's going to happen now? Like, will we see the changes that we've always wanted? Is it going to be that big of a change, or will we see no changes at all? Like some people were thinking.
Remember, there's two words though. There's a as I like to say in the mental health world, there's always an obstacle, and that obstacle I think is Nick Khan.
I wholeheartedly agree with that.
Yeah, me too. They might, I don't know.
Nick Khan is still co-CEO with Stephanie. I just get him out.
Well, there's
please,
a reason.
God, get rid of him.
There's a reason that he ascended though to that position, and he ascended obviously with Vince. So I mean, whether it was him just being a yes man, or whether it was that their visions are aligned, and their ideas for the company are aligned, it's going to remain to be seen. Because if he was just kissing ass to move up the ranks and get the position, then maybe he bucks the system and goes with new ideas. But
Tony Khan just tweeted. They said Vince retires and Tony Khan's gloating. Here's Tony Khan's tweet. Thank you for thanks to you wrestling fans and your great support of AEW. I'm grateful to now be the longest tenured CEO in pro wrestling. Thank you very much, every single person who watches Friday.
That's some fucked up, like, little petty shit.
I think he was literally just being joking around because I mean, God, he wasn't around half the time.
But if that's not something you do,
why not? We just said WWE is going to be in everyone's mouth now, and you're AEW. Get them in your mouth too. Why not? It's a promo. Cut a promo on it.
That's like Charles. That's like the Detroit Pistons saying, "Oh my God, now Jordan's retired and we can be the champ now."
Yep.
Well, I don't know if it's quite gone that far.
Yeah.
I would imagine it was more tongue in cheek. Yeah. And technically, the CEO of Impact and Anthem Sports has been there longer, so it's actually a false statement at this point, anyways.
It's true.
So, look, I gotta go, boys, but I wanted to chime in on this. If
Thanks
Brock
so much.
legit walked out, though, how fucking crazy is that for SummerSlam? Where do you go? I mean, Riddle can't have a shot. Already in a match with Rollins. Do you make that a triple threat?
Eric said bring in Wyndham if they had him on the leash to come in later. If you can pull the string now, that'd be a hell of a time.
You could afford him if you got rid of Brock's contract. I'm
True.
Sure. All right, I'm out, boys.
Thanks for stopping in, man. This is a special report. I'm just banging through Twitter. If you guys got anything to any thoughts, man, spit them out. You're muted and you're gone. This is me and you. No, there you are. You're back.
Yeah, he's back. He's
See
back.
if we got your audio. Your audio went out and then you went out. E, go ahead. Oh, now you're gone.
All right. Well, I do want to say a little something. I'm gonna say just a little bit, if you don't mind me.
No, take your time.
Just let me do this. First and foremost, Vince McMahon is who I looked up to when I first started watching wrestling. And the reason I did was I always knew I was never, ever going to get in a ring. Everybody, a lot of kids, including mine right now, have this dream of the wrestling for WWE, wrestling now for AEW, or, a bigger platform. When I was 5 or 6, I would try and call the matches like I do now in real life. Vince McMahon was my idol when it came to commentary. I mean, he was just everything. And when I first started, I even mocked his laugh when a good guy would go over. Ha ha ha! I would do it all because Vince was just. I don't know, man, because I didn't know. I mean, it took like 2 or 3 years for my dad to make me realize, hey, he owns the company. It was crazy. So where I'm going out with this is from the 6-year-old who sat there and bought all the giant rubber wrestlers, who smashed his ring when he decided to make King Kong Bundy do a spot from the ceiling fan, to pretty much. Believe it or not, you ready for this?
Yeah.
Having Hogan go heel earlier, team up with the rubber Vince McMahon, and this is insane. The stuff that I used to come up with. But the thing was, it was all because of this man who retired today. Despite the controversy, despite what he's done from the side, or what he's done just in general, some people disagree with, yes. But the thing is, thank you, Vince, and because of you, I get to live my dream, maybe 2-3 weekends a month, and that is being a professional wrestling commentator.
Yeah, I mean, like we've been saying, man, you love him or hate him, you have to respect what the man has done for wrestling. You have to. I mean, and like you said, which I wasn't even really think of, the fact that he was on commentary for so long, and he did kind of get himself in through that medium and then just take over and change everything.
Shock the world.
Yeah, I had my pitch last week about all the booking decisions and things I didn't like. But all in all, if you ask me, I'll tell you a million times over, Vince is the reason 99.9% of us are wrestling fans.
Exactly.
Yep. He was the first wrestling company I ever. Yeah, that's what I mean. See, that same sentiment is going everywhere. I mean, it's almost like he passed away right today is the feeling. It's a little bit of a rut in your gut, even though I didn't like the guy for a lot of decisions he made, because I've said over and over the past couple of weeks, I want things to change because I want it to be better. I'd love to have 4 shows a week that I absolutely am thrilled to see. And I've been frustrated with some of the WWE stuff, but now it's like, man, how will things change? What will be different? It's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy. And, well, there you have it. I mean, I'm glad to have some of the WrestleSense guys come in and talk. I'm still going through my tweets. I'm going to drop this StreamYard's link if there you go. You're back.
I'm sorry. I was trying to. This is the first time I've been on my phone doing this, and I tried to look at the chat to see all. So first of all, hi everybody. I didn't get to say that before.
It is a bitch on the phone.
It's different, but listen, I am going to go ahead and roll. Like I said, I think we did our part as
yeah, I'm going to drop this link
wrestling
to some of my private chats if anybody from the community wants to join in and chime in. So I'm going to stick on for a little while. I definitely appreciate it. I didn't think anyone would be able to make it, so I'm really glad you did.
I woke up to this, man. Like I legit was like taking a nap and boo, my phone started blowing up. There's a wrestling chat I'm into with 2PW, who has a show next Friday, by the way. And
have you heard from anybody, Jason and those guys?
I haven't heard from Jason yet. Jason is getting on a flight right now. I will actually be having dinner with Jason Wednesday night, which is going to be interesting. So I'm excited to talk to Jason from This Wrestling Podcast, and of course get our all out plans made. But like I said before, I hope we see Brock. I hope this isn't a thing.
I know. I don't want him to go either. Face Brock has been one of the highlights.
He's fun. It's fun. So, Bodie's away at camp. I don't get to tell him till he comes Monday. Or actually, I'll talk to him tonight. Actually, so maybe I'll tell him on the phone. I love getting live reactions from him, though.
Hey, we love having the information from Bodie. So if you ever video it or something, save that shit. We'll use it for the show because he's gold. He's had some great spots on this show already.
I think the best was when he looked at E and went, "My name is Bodie, bitch." It's still, I let him cuss that one time. I said, "Go ahead," because he kept calling him Brody. I'll never forget that. But like I said, it was good to have the family together for this, just to talk about it. The WrestleSense family, we love you guys. We love everything you guys do, and subscribing to us. So thank you again. And once more, thank you, Vince McMahon. Thanks for all you've done for this business and what all that you've left. Your legacy right now is, it's not just in WWE. His legacy's in AEW. His legacy's in Impact. His legacy's in 2PW,
True.
IWC, RWA, whatever. Guess what? Vince, because of Vince, wrestling is where it is today. So I'll just say that. Brother. And on that note, I'll see everybody. Enjoy your weekend.
Thanks, man. Thanks for being on. I am stunned that I got all four of them on here. I know CJ is on his way home, so maybe he'll be able to stop in and give his 2 cents. I just dropped the StreamYard links in Skype, Facebook, Twitter. Anybody who wants to come in and share their 2 cents, I'm all for it. I'm still doing research to find out what's going down, watching Twitter. So by all means, if anyone wants to join, feel free to click on that StreamYards link. Join the show, people. I want to hear from you. You're getting in the work as things happen. If you guys want to join, make sure you click on that StreamYards link. Earl Cole as well. I sent it to you. Anybody else out there, if you want to join, you want to stop in for a minute, I will send it. CE, I'll send it to you too if you can pop on, my friend. I'm going to get some information from you guys if you want. And I want to talk about it, man. I want to talk about it. I know a lot of people at this time will be either getting off of work or just getting home from work, et cetera, but if anybody wants to join the show, by all means, I'm going to hang out for a little while here, and it'd be really cool to hear from some of you guys and gals out there. If anybody wants to join, the link has been sent out. I'm gonna risk it here and just pop the link here in the chat. So if anybody wants to click on that StreamYards link, it's in the live chat now. Join the show. I want to hear what you think about what's going down. We're going to hang out for 15, 20 more minutes here and try to get some more stuff. I'm going to keep checking my Twitter and finding out. So if you want to join the show, click on the link. Come on, stop in. It'd be good to hear from some as many people as that want to be a part of it. Come on, stop in, and let's make some sense out of this. This is what we do here on the WrestleSense podcast. Shocking news, as we say, and if you're just joining us, Vince McMahon retiring from his position with the company, and then the news dropped that Brock has walked out of SmackDown tonight. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this develops. Here's Miles. Let's talk to Miles. Miles, first thoughts when you heard this news, buddy?
Oh my God. Man, I am so shocked that Vince McMahon finally leaves WWE. I am shocked.
Yeah,
I didn't know this news until now on my phone, and it just like that, bam, Vince McMahon leaves. That means now Stephanie, her daughter, takes his place as chairwoman and co-CEO, along with Nick Khan, president and co-CEO.
Yeah, I just read the tweet that was out a little bit earlier that did confirm that Nick Khan and Stephanie will be taking the reins to lead WWE into the next whatever it may be. We'll see. It's very interesting. I don't know. Now the question to me, I'm thinking now, is what other dominoes may fall. Maybe there's other people within the company that they might have been there just for Vince, and now that he might not be around as much, they might be leaving, or we may see new people come in. You never know.
Yeah, that's a good point right there.
Checking my tweets and seeing what's going on here. Let's get Mark Caliber's thought. What's your first thoughts on when you heard this news there, Mark?
I gotta admit, man, it's shocking. That's like, I didn't think it would happen. Like, we all knew it would happen eventually, but
yeah.
In this manner, like, yeah, that's all I gotta say. It's a shocker.
So, I mean, then the Brock news? I mean, apparently he said if he's out, I'm out. And Brock walked out of SmackDown tonight. So apparently he was at the show to be on for some reason, and now he walked out.
Yeah. Man. Definitely some little bit of loyalty there if that's the case.
Yeah, well, I've heard before about their relationship. I don't know all the details, but the fact that not too much longer after they had a meeting, they had a call to arms, everyone come to, to find out that Vince retired. And then it was literally the tweet that I read his retirement. And then like 2 tweets after that, I read the Brock walked out thing. So it seemed like they made the announcement backstage, which we are less than 2 hours from SmackDown tonight, which SmackDown hasn't been that great of a show, but now they'll probably get their highest rating of the year tonight.
You never know. I guess it all depends on what happens next.
I mean, and whether it's jokingly or not, you see Burt bring it up. It's a work, and I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's out. If you're going to call a meeting for everybody and then announce the retire, I don't think that part is. Now, the Brock part could just be maybe his first instinct, and then they get him to understand he's got to stick around under, I don't know. I mean, Brock's a pretty big name in not only wrestling world, but as a star from everyone knows who Brock Lesnar is.
Yeah, pretty much. He's
could it be arguably the biggest name in the company besides Roman?
Yeah.
And their match next week, is it in jeopardy? Is it up for grabs?
That's a good question. Very good question.
I wasn't excited about SummerSlam, but now I kind of am.
Yeah, it's going to be a very interesting road from here.
I looked at the match card, and it's a bunch of rematches and some decent fights. And SummerSlam normally, in my opinion, it's WrestleMania, and then there's SummerSlam after the year's over when you look at the big shows that WWE has,
Yeah.
There was rumors early in the year that Cena was coming back for SummerSlam, and then that kind of, delayed for a while, or whenever he's going to make an appearance. So I don't know. Yeah. What if he comes back to fight Roman? You got to put someone big in that match if Brock is gone.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And I mean, the easy way out would be Theory, since he has the briefcase, and that's kind of anticlimactic with the briefcase, and just make it Roman and have him, tonight say, well, I guess I'm cashing in next week. Here's the briefcase. Let's make it official. That's one way to go at it, since, Theory, I was hoping Theory got a little more time before he goes to the top of the card, but I'm really digging what he's doing. Miles, what do you think of Theory and how they've been using him?
I really don't think much about Theory, man.
All right. People love or hate him. I've heard. What about you, Mark? You have any thoughts on how Theory's been doing this year? And I mean, he was also. Let's think of this. When did Theory get that big push? Who pushed him? Who was he doing the vignettes in the back with? Vince.
Vince McMahon, pretty much.
Yeah. So, was Vince the one who said, this is the guy we're going with as our face in the future? Will that change now? Or, does Triple H, now the Triple H is talent relations EVP again? Who knows? I just said that, Atticus. Join the show, Reaper. Join the show. There's the StreamYard link right there.
Speaking of Theory, I realized that he's challenging Lashley for the U.S. title. Like, say, if he was victorious, he would be only the second person to hold the United States title and Money in the Bank. He would be joining The Miz in that category.
Has anyone? I wonder if anyone's ever hold the U.S. and the WWE title at the same time.
That would be Seth Rollins, if I'm not mistaken.
There you go. All right, there he is. Earl Cole is on the show.
What's up, Earl? Hello, gentlemen. How are you tonight?
It's going good.
This is the debut of Earl Cole, my friends, from the Wrestling Experiences here.
Yes,
all
sir.
All right, my man. I need your thoughts. What's the first thing that went through your mind when you heard this news?
Well, something. I've been a wrestling fan for nearly 3 decades now, and I grew up on WWE. Sometimes I bask in their glory, and there are times I took them to the proverbial woodshed. This was just, I almost fell off the couch at home. I almost injured myself and had to go to the hospital when I saw the tweet. This has been a shocking day. This has been a banner day for wrestling fans because everybody wanted a change. This company needs to go in another direction. The quality of wrestling isn't there, the booking isn't there, and it is showing in the ratings. It is showing in live attendance. Even though Raw has sold out every single arena for the past 4 weeks,
Yeah.
but still has nothing to show for it in the booking of wrestling. So
What about the Brock stuff, Earl? What do you think about that? Him saying
I
he's out, I'm
mean,
out.
I mean, if he walks out and contractually ruins the main event of SummerSlam, there's going to be a problem. We have a big problem. Because for weeks you have been promoting Brock and Roman for SummerSlam,
Yep.
and SummerSlam is next Saturday night. So how is this going to work? How is this going to look? And you certainly cannot use Austin Theory as a stand-in because that's not going to work.
All right, breaking news here. Cultaholic Wrestling just reporting. We can report that WWE will I know you guys. Some of you guys are not going to like what you hear here. WWE make overtures to bring Goldberg in to replace Brock Lesnar for SummerSlam since he walked out.
Oh my God! I don't think that's gonna work.
No.
I don't think that's gonna work.
Oh God,
There's
no.
the tweet. Could. It says could, so it's not a definite. That is, we were just talking about it. I mean, if they had Bray Wyatt on the leash to come in later, pull the trigger now. Do you give Theory with the briefcase to cash in now? Who do you put in place? Is Cody healthy enough to make a return, which I don't think he is. You know, you got to fill it with a big name. You can't just throw just anybody in that title thing. And I did hear last week that Goldberg does have one more match on that contract. They're just waiting to see what they're going to do with it. I mean, we'll see. I mean,
Gets it off the front of what happens.
I mean, this is a mess. This is a proverbial mess, and it needs
just
a mop.
happened an hour ago, so there's still a lot of dominoes to fall, so to speak. So,
and
get ready for a lot of false reports. Get ready for a lot of rumors that aren't true, because that's what's going to happen right now.
And Lesnar is supposed to be on SmackDown tonight. So supposedly supposed to be on SmackDown tonight.
Yeah, and him walking out, like we talked about earlier with the WrestleSense guys, the relationship between Brock and Vince, it doesn't make total sense, but the fact that he heard and the quote from Brock was, "If he's gone, I'm gone."
But you know something that's ridiculous, because Vince McMahon caters to Brock Lesnar, and the thing is that he should have just spoke to Lesnar and said, "Listen, you're contractually obligated to do this match.
Sasha and Naomi, same situation. They were under contract and they walked out. So we're going to call Brock unprofessional now?
I mean, well, listen, I mean, Naomi and Sasha were two different stories.
They're not the same level as Brock, definitely.
Right.
If you think about it, they were scheduled for that night. They found out something that changed, and they just said, "See you later." And that's kind of what Brock has done from the reports. That's the first time in a while I'm really interested in SmackDown tonight.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the thing is that I'm very curious to see what exactly are they going to do here, because it begs the question. I had talked about this last night on my show. And I don't know, man. This is a mess.
Yeah, I'm trying to catch up on the tweets because obviously it's blowing up. Another one here that I'm reading, and I think this was already kind of Triple H's return also signaled the widely expectation confirmation that John Laurinaitis is effectively done with WWE as well. So big change. You talk to business in general, not just wrestling. Let's look at just business in general. And I've worked in my career as sales and management for some huge corporations in the world. When the shakeup of the very top of any company happens, sometimes there's a lot of trickle down, whether it's changes in how they operate or who runs this and that. I look for, and this is just a guess in my opinion, that we will see a lot of changes, maybe not in the product right away, but eventually. And this is what a lot of people have been waiting for. Vince is what, 77, I think he is, or something?
Yeah, 77. Yeah.
So it's not like, I mean, it's something that a lot of people were already expecting to happen, but so abruptly, as we were talking about with the WrestleSense guys, and they have all these investigations. Maybe they uncovered something more, and they were like, "Well, now Vince is like, yep, now I have to step down." Who knows? We'll find out more details as it comes.
But but you know something, Blaze. The thing is that the handwriting was on the wall. Yeah. I mean, first of all, your ratings are going down. The fans are revolting. People have stopped watching your product. You
one
had
thing
all
about
these
ratings, though, man. Sorry, and the one thing I'm not a big. The ratings is just frustrating to me because I look at, once again, the business aspect and the year as it is. In the summer, ratings for wrestling normally fall off a little bit because of vacations and the ratings do kind of dip. They're weird. Also, when school starts again, you will see the ratings change, especially in WWE, because they have such a huge presence of kids that are fans. So when the kids go back to school, the ratings will change a little bit. And if you look at the numbers, it does hold kind of true year to year. But I think the ratings will be through the roof tonight because of this, because everyone, even people that don't like WWE or it hasn't been watching it, they go, wow, I think I got to tune in tonight to find out what the hell's going on. At least for the first hour.
Yeah, well, no, I mean, I agree with you with that. I agree with the assessment. But the thing is that you have to see the handwriting that's on the wall here. I mean, from the scandal to the slipping of Raw, the week after week is not doing good. Sometimes you produce solid pay-per-views, and then there are times you don't put on a solid pay-per-view. I mean, it's just the inconsistencies is what I think killed the WWE.
At the same time, and I'm the guy who, same thing as you just said, or on the WrestleSense podcast, I'm normally the one that's super critical of WWE because I want it to be better because I'm not happy with what's going on, and normally liking what AEW has been doing because that's my type of wrestling. More fighting, less replays and recaps and previews, and that's my style. But this past week, my opinion has kind of changed as well, where I wasn't really happy, and I listened to your show last night too, Earl. You had the same sentiment that the barbed wire match just didn't really hit me right last night, and a lot of the things that went down last night or 2 nights ago, I'm sorry, on AEW, I questioned. I was like, man, it's I wanted it to be better. And same thing. And everyone has their opinion. That's the great thing about being a wrestling fan. Everyone has their opinion. Everyone has their favorites. Everyone has, what they like, what they don't like. Caliber, I'm I want to know, like, how this will affect wrestling in all, like, not only WWE, but what do you think this will do as wrestling as a whole, everywhere?
Well, I mean,
Mark, I want to Mark.
Oh,
i
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, no worries. This one, I'm not really sure how it is gonna go down. Like, as I've said before, I guess it all depends on what they do down the road, and it might affect the wrestling business as a whole, like, in a good way, but at the same time, it might also lead down to a bad way. Like, that's basically where my mind is right now. I'm like split 50-50 at the moment.
Yeah. Miles, do you think this will have repercussions with other places other than WWE? I mean, put it this way. I'm a guy, I'm a young up and coming wrestler. I hear that WWE is mostly going for, sports and athletes and stuff, but I'm an indie guy. Maybe they'll consider me now, or I'm in AEW and my contract's coming up. And there was little rumblings about WWE. Now that Vince is gone, maybe I have a better opportunity. What do you think it's going to have repercussions throughout the entire wrestling world, Miles?
I mean, that all depends based on how it goes down, especially when it comes with wrestling companies such as WWE. So we're talking about like AEW, Impact, New Japan Pro Wrestling. It all depends on how it goes by the executives.
Let's think of this, though. You're Vince McMahon. you have to retire because of all the accusations are getting real bad,
Exactly.
and you're going to retire. And then next week, you walk into the meeting and you want to say something about what should happen on the show. Is anybody going to stop Vince from saying his opinion? You know what I'm saying? Like down the road, if Vince says something, do you think that I think my opinion right now, who knows, is that he still has some decision-making power without working for the company because of who he is. We got someone else here to have their 2 cents.
Hey, Atticus.
Reaper, good to see you, man. Right off the top of your head, what's the first thought you had when you heard this news, my friend?
Honestly, first thing I have to say, hold on, give me a minute.
It's all right. Here, let me. Oh, we had someone else and we lost them. There we go. Shocking news, man. Glad you guys joined me. It's we got a bunch of people popping in, getting there too. So old becomes new. As long as the great execs and leaders going to be great, it's going to be great for wrestling, says Monstar, and that's what I'm hoping. I'm the positive guy. You can go a lot of places in, especially YouTube, to see wrestling content creators that'll come in here and hoot and holler and be really angry at stuff. I'm the positive guy. I'm normally, when I watch a show, I've said this on the WrestleSense podcast before, things that happen that I don't like or things that are bad, mistakes and stuff, I normally filter those out and try to focus on what I did like. Whether there's 2 things I liked or 20 things I liked, then you'll know how I like it. But I'm a positive dude. That's just the way I am. I'm normally focusing on the things I did like, not the things I didn't like. There's enough people out there that'll go straight through whatever podcast or review show and stuff and say, you know, they hate this, do this, do that, should have done this, should have done that. That's really not the way I am as a person. So I don't convey that stuff here. Oh, there's Atticus. He's back.
All right, had to mute my mic. Garage door was opening and shit. Honestly, at first I thought I'd feel happy about all this going down. You know, all of us have been begging Vince to retire for I don't know how long.
Yeah, exactly.
But like, I just feel a sense of sadness actually now that it's actually happened. Like, it didn't have the same impact of, oh boy, now things are going to get better. I mean, yeah, sure, things may get better, but at the same time, it's just not going to be the same.
We've never been, none of us have ever been in a WWE board meeting. None of us have ever really, hold on a second. There we go. None of us have ever really seen behind the scenes how everything works for WWE. We just hear what we see online. So what if, and that's a good point that Atticus is bringing up, what if this does have a weird trickle down effect that we did not think of because we're not at the meetings. We don't work for them. We're not in the business. We only hear what they allow us to hear outside as fans. So it could be worse, as he's saying. I kind of have the same feeling a little bit too. It's like, yay, he's gone. I can't wait for the positive changes. But I would not be surprised if it's a little bit of a rocky road for a little bit until Stephanie and Nick really get their hold on what their vision is going forward. But I still think, Vince says, Brock is coming back, and Brock shows up. Or he's like, don't leave Brock. I'll still have my thoughts. And Brock is who knows? Maybe Brock overreacted. You never know. Vince, here we go. Vince, shareholders don't want Vince and his Playboy rep. I mean, it is a different era nowadays. You can't do the things that Vince used to do back in the day. There's the cancel culture and all that stuff that he's doing. I really think this might have something to do with the accusations really getting to a point where it could affect the business negatively even more, even though we know he was a piece of trash. You know what I'm saying? We all know he was a piece of trash. Yeah. Personally, but business-wise, we can't deny the fact that he is the reason 99.9% of us are wrestling fans. If he wouldn't have taken the territories and changed them, if he wouldn't have got on commentary and did his thing, if he wouldn't have made Hulk Hogan who he was and brought character and color and movies and videos and everything else that comes in wrestling now, without Vince, like him or hate him, wrestling would not be what it is today.
Yup, it wouldn't.
So, I mean, I'm not saying I'm a fan of Vince McMahon. Trust me. I'm just trying to be objective from a business standpoint.
You're trying to look at the glass half full instead of half empty.
Yes.
and which is something I do on my show. I try to look at everything from glass half full instead of half empty.
Yeah.
I try to bring them into a light. I try to give them a sense of, and try to bring them up a little bit. I'm not trying to be as negative, because everybody thinks I'm a negative person. I'm not a negative person. I just see what I see, and I call what I call. That's the way I'm built. I can't do anything else. I can't sugarcoat anything else. The only thing is that I think from a business standpoint, yes, I think this will really shake the foundation of every promotion out there, to know that you're just not you're not as concrete as you think you are, or you think that you know everything, but you really don't. Like Blaze just brilliantly pointed out last night, with AEW. I mean, I talked about this on my show last night, and I says I was not a fan of the barbed wire everywhere main event. I wasn't a fan of it.
I
I
had a
just
bad feeling about it, and my bad feeling kind of came true. And I'm big
yeah.
fans of. I don't mind a death match or a gruesome match every once in a while, but it seems like they tried too hard with that, and it fell apart toward it. Plus, I really think that women's tag match went too long, so they were rushing that barbed wire match.
Yeah,
There's confirmation now that Brock has left SmackDown. Not only did he walk out, you kind of think they would try to get him to come back, or hey, if Brock says screw this,
Brock
I'm out,
is Vince's guy.
Yeah, if he goes to the parking lot, I bet, I work for WWE. I'm sending every damn worker I got that knows Brock out there to try to get him to come back just for tonight, and we'll figure it out. But there's several. Brian Alvarez reporting once again from several sources. Brock Lesnar has left SmackDown tonight.
Honestly, though, when it comes to the barbed wire matches, I think AEW just needs to stay away from them, because it's like, the second time they've tried to have a barbed wire match that just went horribly wrong that people hated.
Well, there's Denise Salcedo from Fightful said this the other day, and it was a very good point. She was a part of the GCW show last week, and she saw 4 or 5 death match type things. And when you want to see a death match, go watch some GCW shit, because they do it right, and they do it all the time. It's something they're famous for. And she said when she watched the AEW one, it's like they were trying to do what GCW does, and I get it. Until we talked on a WrestleSense podcast, and DH Bruiser brought up the fact, and those guys said, the Painmaker doesn't lose. That's part of his mystique. When he is the Painmaker, he always wins. And I was like, Kingston needs to, get over and end this now, and it didn't happen, and I was a little disappointed. And then there was the whole key and the shark cage and all these people running in. Why wasn't Sammy Guevara in the shark cage? And it didn't need all that interference. And I mean, here's another thing though. Let's look back at some of the mistakes and I don't like to use the word bots that much, thanks to Jericho, and I feel the same way. The mistakes that AEW has had in the past. Normally, and I'm a let it play it out type of guy, that's me. Eventually, they explain why things happen. Like when the exploding thing, the exploding ring, barbed wire exploding match happened, and Eddie Kingston sold it like crazy, even though it didn't explode. Eddie Kingston cut an A+ promo later on explaining, hey, a lot of stuff has happened in my life. Whenever something drastic happens like that, my heart sinks and I overreact. And I did that. So he gave a reason why it looked ridiculous like he did. So I'm really waiting to see on AEW next week, or maybe tonight even, maybe they explain, some of the shit that looked like shit in that main event. And this left me with a sour taste. I'm not going to stop hating AEW or start not liking the product, because a lot of my favorite wrestlers are there, and it's my type of wrestling.
Because, it's like you said yesterday on the podcast, and I agree with you, things just haven't felt the same since Omega, Punk, and Bryan left.
Come back, please. I miss them.
Hangman Page is great and everything. He's an excellent talent, and you have Sting and Darby and all those there, but you just don't have that big draw like you had with Omega. And
This weekend is huge to me. Tomorrow night, I'm still thinking about doing the Ring of Honor watch along. I'm not positive, but this is what I've been waiting for. When everyone kept saying, they're hiring too many people, they got too many people on the AEW roster. He keeps bringing in all these WWE guys. He keeps bringing too many young guys up. It's a bloated roster. It's too much. It's too much. When I heard he bought ROH, I stopped thinking that as much, because now you have two products where a lot of people are saying, is ROH going to be the NXT of WWE? No, it cannot be. It's too much legacy, too much history, too much tradition there. It cannot be a minor leagues. It's going to be a brand split kind of, where you're going to see some fight on each, but ROH can be a big deal, and they can actually justify the bloated roster by two companies and using them. And a lot of people I've heard, this big name was on Dark last week, or this guy was on Elevation. Why, they're jobbing him out, or he's getting buried. And I'm like, if you're on TV, you're not getting buried. Dark is not a demotion. A lot of times it's to get over the younger talent. A lot of times it's still exposure. When wrestlers are wrestling on a TV show, it's not a bad thing, whether it's a YouTube show, a pay-per-view show, a TV, a streaming service. When you're on a roster and you're on TV, you're doing something right. If you're not getting booked every week and you don't see that person on TV, then you can start to worry. Like I talked about Wednesday night, I said, where's MJF? If it was a work, he would be on TV cutting promos. He would be in the audience giving the finger to the AEW guys. He would be interrupting the show and stuff. Now I'm worried that there's more to it, because we haven't seen MJF for a while. And hell yeah, Omega, Danielson, Punk, and I've heard that a lot of their returns are sooner than later.
I agree with that assessment.
Yeah, people throw out job and buried anytime someone loses. They obviously don't know what those terms actually mean. And it's way overused. I mean, you hear a lot of, this person's buried because they lost on TV. Well, like I said, I'm the let it play out type of guy, because I want the story. That's what when I used to watch WCW big time back in the day, it was always what happened on Nitro that you can, back in the day, it was high school. What do we get to talk about at the lunch table tomorrow in school? What happened last night? And it kept you going. So that type of story, call it long-term booking or whatever you want to call it. They always gave you that cliffhanger. Can't wait to see what they do on the next show. And that's what I see missing. Hey, there's Charlie Cesar. Good to see you, my friend. That's what I see missing on the current product in WWE. But hey, who knows? Earl, you're getting a lot of feedback there. Let's see what that is.
Yeah, I'm gonna get going now. So I'll see you guys later.
Yeah, all right, Mark. Thank you for stopping in.
Yeah, not a problem.
All right, Mark.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna close this out here in a minute. It's shocking, but it's exciting. Whether you liked Vince or not, now you have something to watch. So before we kind of wrap this up, Miles, do you have any final thoughts you want to? Hey, wait, we got to do this. Hold on. We got to make it formal here.
Right.
We're going to do at the end of the day. All right, this is where we say at the end of the day, and we give our final thoughts on the big news and what it means for pro wrestling going forward. Miles, I'll let you lead us off. Let me know at the end of the day what's going down.
Okay, so hopefully whatever goes down on Friday Night SmackDown tonight, myself, along with some other friends of mine, is going to be watching SmackDown, and we're going to be doing it, and it's going to be on my round table on Discord. So anybody wants to jump in and chat and watch SmackDown, and feel free to come on in. I'm gonna share out the link so that way you guys can come along and we can chat about it.
Good stuff. Thanks for being a part of the show, Miles. As always, I love the support. You're the man, brother. Keep it up. Keep up the good work on your channel as well. To answer Jose Blanco's question, Tony Khan did do a media interview session on Thursday for the ROH show, and that question did come up, and it has been in the works. He has been in talks with not only the company that AEW houses, but other means of getting a TV contract. This pay-per-view coming up is a big deal, he said, about it. What's going to go down. So stay tuned for more on that. So Earl Cole, final thoughts at the end of the day, my friend.
It is just a whirlwind. It is just a whirlwind. I don't know what to say about this. It is, like I said before, when I saw the tweet, I nearly fell off the couch. I just didn't know. I just didn't know exactly what was going to transpire. Last night I did a rewind for Money in the Bank, and I gave the good, the bad, and the ugly about it. And it's just.
Hey, let's hope for the best, Earl. Let's hope this is what we've been waiting for WWE. I mean, when you were a kid, you said it. You grew up on WWE. Let's hope, maybe not fully the Attitude Era, but PG4. I mean, maybe TV 14 comes back a little sooner, and we get the product we want. Maybe not completely, because me and you, we're kind of on the same page with it. We're religiously disappointed in WWE. Maybe that time's going to change now, man. Let's. I'm gonna have a positive attitude towards.
I'm gonna be positive too, Blaze. I'm gonna be positive, and I hope this gives them a good kick in the keister. I hope they move them forward in the future, and get the product up, get those wrestling numbers up, get that quality of wrestling up. No more redundancy, no more same matches. Get some new matches. Get that brand split over with. Get that thing over with.
Okay, this is what I do on this channel, man, here, and I love what I call it corny or not, putting unity back in the community and spreading the love. I just put in the link in the chat. That's Earl Cole's channel. Make sure you guys go over there and subscribe. This dude busts his ass. He works hard to bring wrestling content on a regular basis. He has a show called The Wrestling Experience. Check him out on Twitter, Earl Cole WWE, right?
Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter at WWE Earl C. That is WWE Earl C. And I just want to make an announcement that I'm joining the Hardcore Sports Network.
Yeah, my boy Mitch Kofsky.
Yeah, Mitch Kofsky. Yes, I am going to join the Hardcore Sports Network. I'm going underneath their umbrella. And
They're doing good stuff.
So I'm doing good things, and the wrestling experience.
Mitch is a great guy. I plan on having Mitch on the show. He's away this weekend. I plan on having him on the show. I'm in Pittsburgh. He's in Philly, so we're in the same state here. You're not too far either, Earl. We got our East Coast family going together here, and I appreciate you, man. It's long overdue to have you on the show. You will be, like I said, the first time I'll get up whenever I do my watch along. If it's ROH tomorrow or if it's another time. I appreciate you, my brother. I'm glad to have you on the show.
And you, it's been a pleasure, Blaze Radio. And I have to tell you something. I respect you. I respect your brand, and I respect everything you do on YouTube, because you are absolutely fabulous. Everything you touch.
Hey, thanks, man. Hardcore Sports is a bunch. I'm 48 years old. I'm not ashamed to say my age, because I'm young at heart. You got a lot of young guys out there doing their thing, and I respect it. Mitch and company has put together a nice little community. I call ours the Digital Wrestling Syndicate here, based on the WWE game we do and a lot of other things. Expanding to the podcast and the interviews that I do and the gaming and all that stuff. I'm not a gamer, but I love bringing, giving people an outlet. I call it escapism. It doesn't matter what's going on in your life or what's bringing you down. Hopefully my channel can help make you smile, whether you're laughing with me or at me. Hey, at least you're smiling, right? Thank you, Earl. I appreciate you.
Yeah, I appreciate you, Blizzard, and thank you so much for having me on. And I wish you the best luck in all your endeavors. And you have my support, as always, 1,010%.
This is just the beginning of another great YouTube relationship that I've had here. And you're the man, Earl. Keep up the good work, brother. Take care.
Thank you.
All right. At the end of the day, folks, this is our first special report out of the friggin' blue to give you the big news as it happens here on this channel. If you're watching the replay, if you're just joining, oh, look at this. We got a little surprise machete in the building. What's up, Rob?
Not much.
just in time for some closing thoughts. Let me know what you think about this Vince McMahon retiring thing, Rob.
Finally. I just thought today that Triple H was coming back to his spot, so maybe things will be moving forward.
You got to keep a positive attitude, right, Rob? That's what we do.
Yep.
But we are going to close it out here. Thanks for popping in. At least you got in there for a minute or two.
I just wanted to know if I could do it on my phone or not.
You're better than Sean. Hey, Monstar, you got to learn from this guy. Don't be a pussy. Get in here and show your face. Have some fun, Monstar. Anybody could jump on StreamYards on their phone. Taco's in the building. DH and those guys were out at work or running around, and they jumped on. And thanks for stopping by, Rob. I appreciate you, man. Have a beer on me, my friend.
Oh, I will.
And that's just the point. I mean, it's like I'm going to try to do more of these if I can, where when something happens, I can go live. It was the last second thing. I had to hurry the hell up to get this live because for those who don't know, it's not easy to do a live right away. I mean, I could easily just go on and click go live and go live like I do earlier today, like for the garden streams and stuff. Yes, wrestling and gardening. You ain't gonna find that anywhere else but on this channel, my friends. But to get this stream ready, it did take me a few minutes, and I knew. And as soon as I looked on Twitter while I was live, everyone's live right now. Everyone who has a podcast, everyone who does wrestling, the big podcasters, and everyone went live for this news. So I figured, why not join in the fun and see what people think about it, what their thoughts are. Big thanks to Doc, Ray, Easy E for joining real quick. And then thanks to everybody who just joined us now from the community. That's what I love doing, man. I want to showcase you guys. I want to show you what it's all about and get your information on it as well. So thank you. Enjoy SmackDown tonight. It's a great time to be a wrestling fan right now, folks. Hopefully there's even better things to come in the wrestling world because of this news. Thank you, Vince. I mean, like I said, when I started, I'm not a huge Vince McMahon fan because of how the product has been right now, but some of my favorite wrestlers are there. You can't argue with it. It's the biggest wrestling company in the world. They make the most money. They get the most fans. They have the biggest audiences, whether the ratings are down, whether the live audience, no matter what, right now, WWE is the end all be all of pro wrestling. Don't get it twisted. You know, there's a lot of people that are negative about what has been going down, but they are pro wrestling. Whether it's, you want to call it pro wrestling as opposed to sports entertainment. We talked about it earlier. You got to thank Vince McMahon for how pro wrestling is today. So sayonara, old son of a bitch. And here's to a brand new era in the pro wrestling world from the WrestleSense podcast. Thanks for being a part of the show. If you're watching a replay, let me know in the comments below what you think about the retiring of Vince McMahon, the walk out of Brock, and the future of the WWE, what it holds. I'm excited. SmackDown and Rampage tonight. Ring of Honor tomorrow night. Next weekend, Flair's Final Fight, StarCast, and SummerSlam. Man, it's going to be a hot summer at the end here. And thanks for being a part of the show here on the Blaze Radio Network. And I'll see ya in my streams. I'm out of here. See ya. From the side.